What if reaching the pinnacle of magical power doesn't bring fulfillment, but reveals the hollow echo of a life spent chasing stats instead of meaning? In New Life as a Max Level Archmage, Arcane Cadence delivers an OPMC LitRPG that subverts the reincarnation power fantasy into a poignant exploration of post-achievement identity, proving that true mastery isn't found in infinite mana pools, but in the terrifying vulnerability of building connections when you've outgrown every challenge the world can offer. This isn't merely another overpowered protagonist story with effortless victories. It's a contemplative, emotionally precise narrative where godlike ability becomes a barrier to intimacy. Every spell cast carries the weight of existential ennui, and redemption requires unlearning the very metrics that defined your worth. From the first wistful narration, listeners are immersed in a realm where omnipotence feels like isolation, and every level cap breached leaves only silence in its wake. Perfect for fans of introspective progression fantasy and stories where growth happens beyond the grind. This audiobook serves up atmospheric wonder, relentless emotional honesty, and a protagonist whose journey from legendary archmage to humble seeker resonates with anyone who's ever achieved their dream only to find it wasn't enough. When Max Level Archmage Alara Vance dies defeating the Demon King and awakens in a new body with all her powers intact, she expects purpose, not to discover that invincibility has stripped the world of stakes, leaving her adrift in a paradise that feels like prison. But as Alara navigates awestruck villagers and sycophantic nobles, she realizes this second chance isn't about dominating anew, it's about learning to be ordinary again. Cadence masterfully avoids reducing Alara to bored deity or the world to backdrop for her angst. Instead, they craft a narrative where power is recontextualized as responsibility rather than privilege, where consent is negotiated through restraint rather than force, and where belonging emerges not from supremacy but from shared fragility. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional precision, capturing Alara's weary omniscience softening into genuine curiosity, while secondary voices shift subtly between reference and recognition, making every interaction feel like both performance and possibility. You don't just hear her rediscover life, you feel the seismic shift of a legend learning that humanity isn't a limitation to transcend, but a home to return to. What elevates New Life as a Max-Level Archmage beyond typical OPMC fare is its nuanced portrayal of post-traumatic success as spiritual crisis rather than reward. Alara isn't merely adjusting to peace, she's confronting how decades of optimization erased her capacity for joy, challenging the notion that worth equals utility. Her relationships evolve through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silence with farmers who see her as person, not paragon, setting boundaries that protect both autonomy and connection, and defending the value of small lives against systems that worship scale. Supporting characters add vital texture, young mages whose ambition mirrors her past self, elders whose wisdom honors slowness over speed, even the magic system itself, rendered as living ecosystem whose rhythms remember balance before exploitation. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In worlds built on hierarchy, equality is rebellion, and presence is the only true power. Even the LitRPG mechanics serve thematic depth, with skill trees mirroring emotional branching paths and XP gains marking moments of human alignment rather than combat efficiency. For audiobook listeners, this production is pure auditory sanctuary with substance. The narrator embodies Alara's evolving perspective with remarkable range, from detached authority to trembling openness during breakthroughs, while supporting characters are distinguished through vocal textures that honor complexity without caricature. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming intimacy, distant wind through ancient forests marking temporal shifts, rain against cottage roofs during vulnerable confessions, the hushed hum of dormant magic syncing with breath during moments of clarity, all anchor mythic stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the rhythm of decompression, deliberate during reflection and integration, then gently accelerating as external pressures collide with internal awakenings. Whether you're commuting through urban chaos or unwinding in twilight stillness, the audiobook creates a portable haven where slowness feels sacred and presence feels like gift. It's storytelling as embodied elidation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where healing isn't about gaining more, but about remembering what was always enough. Ultimately, New Life as a Max Level Archmage redefines OPMC LitRPG by centering female embodiment within restorative frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for satisfying magic and hopeful resolution, while delivering substantive commentary on achievement trauma, feminine power, and the radical act of choosing connection over conquest. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey.
If you've ever wondered whether peace can coexist with greatness, or if true strength requires softness, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful spell is simply showing up as yourself. Press play, release the expectation of perfection, and prepare to believe that even in lives shaped by legend, hearts still find ways to beat in time with the ordinary. Your next favorite LitRPG isn't waiting in endless escalation. It's waiting in the brave, quiet choice to be human again.